Hey everyone, welcome back to English Learning Corner. I'm Jack.
And I'm Amy. Thanks for joining us today.
So Amy, today we're tackling a topic that I know frustrates a lot of our listeners.
Oh, yes, we get messages about this all the time. People say they've been studying English for years, but they still can't speak confidently.
Exactly. They know grammar rules, they've memorized thousands of words, but when it's time to actually speak, nothing comes out naturally.
Right, or they freeze up completely. It's such a common problem, and honestly, it's not their fault.
Absolutely not. The truth is, many people are learning English the wrong way. Not because they're lazy or not smart enough, but because they're using methods that don't actually help with speaking.
So true. Let me ask you something, Jack. When you were learning Spanish, did you ever experience this? Like you understood everything, but couldn't respond?
Oh my goodness, yes. I remember sitting in a cafe in Madrid and the waiter asked me a simple question. I understood him perfectly, but I just stood there with my mouth open like a fish.
Ha! I can totally picture that. What was the question?
He just asked what kind of coffee I wanted. Super simple. But I couldn't get the words out quickly enough. My brain knew the answer, but my mouth wasn't cooperating.
That's such a perfect example of what we're talking about. Your brain and your mouth weren't connected yet.
Exactly. And that's the first big reason why people can't speak English well. They focus too much on input and not enough on output.
Could you explain what you mean by input and output?
Sure, input is all the English you take in, reading, listening, watching videos. Output is what you produce, speaking and writing.
Right? And most learners spend maybe 95% of their time on input and only 5% on output.
If that, some people never practice speaking at all. They just keep reading more grammar books and watching more videos.
Which is important, don't get me wrong. You need input to build your knowledge. But if you never practice producing the language, you'll never become fluent.
It's like, how can I explain this? It's like watching hundreds of cooking videos, but never actually cooking.
Oh, that's a great analogy. You might know all the recipes by heart, but the first time you try to make something, it's going to be a disaster.
Right? You need to actually do it, make mistakes, and practice. Speaking is a skill, and skills require practice.
Exactly. So that's reason number one, not enough speaking practice. What's the second reason people struggle?
The second reason is perfectionism. People are so afraid of making mistakes that they don't speak at all.
Oh, this is huge. I see this with so many students. They want every sentence to be grammatically perfect before they say it.
And what happens while they're trying to make it perfect?
The conversation moves on, the moment passes, and they've lost their chance to contribute.
Exactly. And then they feel even worse about their English because they couldn't participate in the conversation.
It becomes this negative cycle. They don't speak because they're afraid of mistakes, but not speaking means they don't improve, which makes them more afraid.
You know what's funny though? Native speakers make mistakes all the time.
All the time, we use incorrect grammar, we forget words, we say and constantly.
Right. Communication isn't about perfection. It's about getting your message across.
Exactly. I'd much rather have a conversation with someone who makes grammatical errors but communicates clearly than someone who says nothing because they're waiting for the perfect sentence.
Same here, and here's the thing. Making mistakes is how you learn. Every mistake is a learning opportunity.
Absolutely. When you make a mistake and someone corrects you, or you realize it yourself, that's when real learning happens.
So if you're listening right now and you're afraid to speak because you might make mistakes, please make mistakes. Make lots of them.
Yes, be brave. Every fluent English speaker you admire made thousands of mistakes on their journey.
Now, the third reason is something we touched on earlier, but it deserves more attention. People study English, but they don't practice English.
What's the difference?
Studying is when you learn about the language, memorizing vocabulary lists, doing grammar exercises, reading about past perfect tense.
Okay, and practicing is...
Practicing is when you actually use the language, having conversations, writing messages, thinking in English, speaking to yourself even.
Ah, I see. So someone might study for 2 hours every day but never actually practice.
Exactly. They know tons of theory, but they can't apply it in real situations.
It's like the difference between reading a book about swimming versus actually getting in the water.
Perfect example. You can read about swimming techniques all you want, but you won't learn to swim without getting wet.
So, what should people do instead? How can they move from studying to practicing?
Well, there are lots of ways. First, speak to yourself in English. I know it sounds weird, but it really helps.
It does sound weird, but I do this all the time. When I'm cooking or getting dressed, I narrate what I'm doing in English.
Me too. Okay, now I'm putting the coffee in the machine. Oh no, I forgot to add water. Let me do that now. Just simple stuff like that.
Right? And it helps your brain get used to forming English sentences quickly without the pressure of someone listening.
Exactly. Another thing you can do is find a language exchange partner online.
Yes, there are so many apps and websites for this now. You can practice with native speakers who want to learn your language.
It's a win-win situation. You help them, they help you, and you both get free speaking practice.
And even if you can't find a partner, you can record yourself speaking. Just talk about your day or describe a picture.
That's a great tip. Then you can listen back and notice your own mistakes.
Exactly. Okay, so we've covered 3 reasons so far: not enough output, perfectionism, and studying instead of practicing. What's number 4?
Number 4 is a big one. People translate everything in their heads.
Oh, yes. This is such a problem. Can you explain what you mean for our listeners?
Sure, many learners think in their native language first, then translate each word into English before speaking.
So instead of thinking directly in English, they're doing this 2-step process every time.
Exactly. And what's the problem with that?
Well, it's slow for one thing. By the time you've translated your thought, the conversation has moved on.
Right? And also, it often leads to awkward or incorrect English because you're using the grammar structure of your native language.
Exactly. Different languages have different word orders and grammar patterns. You can't just swap words one to one.
So what's the solution? How do you stop translating?
It's not easy, but you have to train yourself to think in English. Start small. Think simple thoughts in English throughout your day.
Like what?
Like I'm hungry, or it's cold today, or I need to go to the store. Just basic sentences about your immediate experience.
Right? And gradually you can build up to more complex thoughts. The key is to make it a habit.
Exactly. The more you think in English, the easier it becomes. Eventually, it starts happening automatically.
And another tip, when you learn new vocabulary, don't learn it with translations. Learn it in context with example sentences.
Yes. So instead of learning happy equals allegre or whatever in your language, learn I'm so happy to see you, or this movie makes me happy.
Exactly. You're connecting the English word directly with the concept, not with another word in your language.
This is really important. It takes more time at first, but it pays off in the long run.
Absolutely. Okay, reason number 5, and this is a controversial one. People spend too much time on grammar.
Ooh, I can already hear some listeners disagreeing with this one.
I know. Let me be clear, grammar is important, but it's not the most important thing for speaking.
Right? You can know every grammar rule perfectly and still not be able to have a conversation.
Exactly. Think about children learning their first language. Do they study grammar?
No, not at all. They just hear the language and start using it. They learn grammar naturally through exposure and use.
Right. Now, I'm not saying adults should learn exactly like children. We can benefit from some grammar study.
But we shouldn't obsess over it. We shouldn't wait until we've mastered all the grammar rules before we start speaking.
Exactly. Some people spend years studying grammar and never have a real conversation.
So what's the balance? How much grammar study is enough?
I'd say learn the basic structures, present, past, future tenses, how to ask questions, common sentence patterns. That's maybe 20% of your study time.
And the other 80%?
Use the language, read, listen, and especially speak. You'll pick up grammar naturally through exposure.
And when you do make grammar mistakes while speaking, that's when you can go back and study that specific point.
Exactly. It's much more effective to learn grammar when you actually need it, rather than memorizing rules you might never use.
Great point. Okay, what's the 6th reason people can't speak English?
Number 6 is lack of vocabulary, but not in the way you might think.
Ooh, interesting. What do you mean?
Well, many learners know thousands of words, but they only know them passively. They can recognize them when reading or listening, but they can't recall them when speaking.
Ah, yes, this is the difference between passive and active vocabulary.
Exactly. Your passive vocabulary is all the words you understand. Your active vocabulary is the words you can actually use in conversation,
And for most learners, passive vocabulary is much bigger than active vocabulary.
right? So the solution isn't to learn more words, it's to activate the words you already know.
How do you do that?
Use them. When you learn a new word, immediately try to use it in sentences. Write with it, say it out loud, use it in conversation as soon as possible.
So it's not enough to just read the word and its definition, you need to actively produce it.
Exactly. Try to use new words within 24 hours of learning them. Otherwise, they'll stay passive.
That's a really practical tip. I also think flashcards can help, but you have to use them the right way.
How so?
Don't just flip through cards looking at words. Cover the English side and try to recall the word from the definition or an example sentence. That's active recall.
Yes, or even better, when you see the English word, try to immediately use it in an original sentence.
That's perfect. That really activates the vocabulary.
Okay, we're getting close to the end. Reason number 7, people don't expose themselves to real English.
What do you mean by real English?
I mean authentic materials made for native speakers, not just textbook English or graded readers.
Ah, okay. So things like podcasts, TV shows, movies, YouTube videos, social media posts.
Exactly. A lot of learners only use materials specifically designed for English students.
And what's wrong with that?
Well, those materials are useful, especially at lower levels, but they don't show you how English is really used.
Right? Real English is messier. People use slang, they speak fast, they use idioms and cultural references.
Exactly. And if you only study textbook English, you'll be shocked when you try to have a real conversation.
So what should people do? Just jump into watching movies without subtitles?
No, you need to build up gradually. Start with content that's just slightly above your level.
Right. Maybe watch shows with English subtitles first, not subtitles in your language.
Yes, that way you're still getting support, but you're training your ear to the real sound of English.
And gradually, as you improve, you can remove the subtitles or try more challenging content.
Exactly. The point is to regularly expose yourself to how English is actually spoken in the real world.
Great advice. Okay, is there an 8th reason, or are we done?
There is one more, and this might be the most important one.
Ooh, what is it?
People give up too soon. They expect to be fluent after a few months, and when they're not, they get discouraged and quit.
This is so true. Learning a language is a marathon, not a sprint.
Exactly. It takes time. For most people, reaching a comfortable speaking level takes at least a year of consistent practice, often longer.
And that's okay. There's no rush. The journey itself should be enjoyable.
Right? If you're constantly stressed about not being fluent yet, you'll burn out.
So what's the solution? How do you stay motivated for the long term?
First, set realistic expectations. Understand that progress is gradual, and that's normal.
Right? And celebrate small wins along the way.
Exactly. Did you have a short conversation in English today? That's amazing. Did you understand a joke in a TV show? Awesome.
Yes, recognize your progress even when it feels small. It all adds up.
And find ways to make learning fun. Don't just do boring grammar exercises.
Right. Watch shows you enjoy, read books about topics you love, have conversations about things you're passionate about.
Exactly. If learning feels like a chore, you won't stick with it.
So true. Language learning should fit into your life, not take over your life.
Right? Even 15 or 20 minutes a day of enjoyable English practice is better than forcing yourself to study for hours when you're not in the mood.
Consistency is more important than intensity.
Exactly. Okay, so let's recap all 8 reasons quickly.
Sure. Number 1, not enough speaking practice. You focus too much on input and not enough on output.
Number 2, perfectionism. You're so afraid of making mistakes that you don't speak at all.
Number 3, you study English instead of practicing English. You learn about the language but never use it.
Number 4, you translate everything in your head instead of thinking directly in English.
Number 5, you spend too much time on grammar and not enough time using the language.
Number 6, your vocabulary is passive, not active. You recognize words but can't recall them when speaking.
Number 7, you don't expose yourself to real, authentic English.
And number 8, you give up too soon because you expect instant results.
Those are the main reasons people struggle with speaking, even after years of study.
So if you're listening and you recognize yourself in any of these points, don't worry. Now you know what to change.
Exactly. Awareness is the first step. Now you can adjust your approach and start seeing real progress.
And remember, everyone's journey is different. Don't compare yourself to others.
Right? Just focus on being a little bit better than you were yesterday.
That's perfect advice. Okay, before we go, any final thoughts for our listeners?
Yes, be patient with yourself, make lots of mistakes, and most importantly, actually speak English. Don't wait until you're ready. You'll never feel completely ready.
Excellent advice. Start speaking now, even if it's just to yourself in the shower.
Ha, yes, exactly. Every little bit counts.
All right, that's all for today's episode. Thanks so much for listening, everyone.
If you found this helpful, please share it with your friends who are learning English.
And let us know in the comments which of these 8 reasons applies to you. We'd love to hear from you.
Yes, and if you have any questions or topics you'd like us to cover, just let us know.
See you next time.
Bye, everyone. Keep practicing.